got a knock on my door, and my little neighbor lady, she's like, your car got crashed. Excuse me? That guy ran a red light, hit a car. That car spun into my car, and my car got destroyed. They said that the other insurance company would have to take care of it. And they're like, well, you already got a payout from the insurance company, so we can't pay you anything extra.
You're sitting at home watching TV and you hear a crash. This guy's car got absolutely totaled and he's trying to figure out how to get his money. Let's see if we can help him. Lancelot, you've had some car trouble. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, basically, my car got destroyed while I was actually, I was inside watching TV.
Godzilla?
Basically, yeah. I wish. That'd be cool.
What hit your car?
Actually, yeah. That guy ran a red light, hit a car. That car spun into my car and destroyed it while I was parked there.
Okay. And was it totaled?
Yeah.
Okay. How long ago was this?
June 27th.
Okay, pretty recent. And what happened to the car after that? So you got a check already? Are you talking to insurance companies? What stage are you at?
They paid for, because it was a lease, so they sent the money to the leasing company, and I got like $900 back from apparently taxes paid, but that's it. I drive for Uber and Lyft, so I was out of work for about a month.
Okay.
Before I could get everything taken care of. And I tried to I talked to my insurance company about lost wages from the other insurance company. I talked to them too, and they're like, they basically told me to go pound sand.
So, Lancelot, just so I'm a visual person here, what kind of car do you have? What color is it?
I have
and what hit you?
It was a 2021 Volkswagen Jetta.
Boxy, classic, okay. And what hit it?
I have the police report around here somewhere. I don't know where I put it.
That's all right. So, was your car parked on the street?
Car. Yeah, I was parked on the street.
Okay. And did it knock? Like, was this right outside of your place?
Yeah.
So, give us a little bit more indication about how much work you're doing. So, how many hours a month were you working at Uber and Lyft? Was this essentially your full-time gig?
Yeah, that's my only gig. Yeah, I work 6 days a week, get about 7 hours a day.
Gotcha. So, did you talk with your insurance company about the lost wages and kind of get an answer from them, or haven't talked to them at all?
Well, I talked to them and they said that the other insurance company would have to take care of it. So I waited to get the police report, found out who they had, and I contacted them. And they're like, well, you already got a payout from the insurance company, so we can't pay you. We're not going to pay you anything extra.
When you paid, did you sign any documents in order to get the payment?
It was online. I don't remember signing anything.
Okay. It's not uncommon that these online forms, they make it seem very easy if it's an app, and all of a sudden you don't realize that when you clicked, okay, submit pictures or accept money, that you're saying, I'm not going to accept anything else. So that might be a little specific thing that we can deal with there. But you want to jump into this a little bit more on what are the potential options, Josh?
Yeah, sure. Where are you based out of, Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Greeley, Colorado.
And the accident happened in Colorado?
Yes.
So this is going to be a smaller amount, right? We're not talking about millions of dollars. We're very thankful that you weren't in the car, right? So you're healthy. That's the number one thing. You can't get that fixed with a check. Yeah.
Correct.
So what we're really talking about here is like wages you weren't able to get, and or maybe the cost of a rental car or something like that. And it's going to amount to, it's still a substantial amount of money. It could be, $4,000, $6,000, something like that. I think that you should contact a lawyer that does diminished value claims, that's advertising for that, because these are people that are used to doing smaller ball stuff. A diminished value claim is when you're in a small accident. The majority of them are accidents where the car is hit while it's parked. A lawyer will fight with the insurance company for a third check. So the first check is when you get hurt. The second check is to repair the car. The third check is for that difference in the value. These are smaller checks. Yep. So a lawyer is not going to dismiss you just because you're going after $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, whatever that number ends up being. So I think you should look for a local attorney that is in Colorado, that is in your area, that's advertising diminished value. And I would start by going, hey, I think I need money for lost wages and a rental car, and we need to go after an insurance company. They're going to be really used to talking with the insurance companies, and they work on commission on smaller amounts regularly. That's what I was thinking.
I'm curious from our guests, does any of this sound familiar, non-familiar? Any particular experience y'all have had in this range?
Well, I'm so confused by the time frame. So the car was smashed.
Yeah.
Smashed.
June,
Gone.
June 27th.
So what happens the next day? You just go, well, I don't have a car, so I'm not going to do Uber or anything. Did you contact, because usually the other car's company pays for a rental
Yeah.
for 3 weeks. Whatever it is, you can go rent a car.
Yeah, they actually paid for my company paid for a rental till July 15th.
Okay.
Okay, and you can't do Uber in a rental. Is that the problem?
No.
Okay.
And then I had to wait for once I actually got a new car. I had to wait till I could put plates on it.
So it's Uber restrictions, really. You can't use the rental, and because it was a lease, it took you a while before you could go get a new lease. You couldn't just go in the next day and go, hey, my car got smashed. They're gonna go, we're gonna wait for the money to do. Let me ask you also, what did you do in that month off that you just sat around? Were you reflective? Did you think about life?
What you did wrong?
Were you pondering
How you
why
parked your car?
God
illegally?
struck you down? And
I rode my motorcycle a lot.
dude, you can do Uber for one, and a lot of people, I would argue, would love to be on the back of a motorcycle.
I prefer strongly the motorcycle Uber. You know, you just really want to be close to people.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do a lot of times I'll do a Vespa Uber.
Yeah.
Parties at 4 might take a while, but one at a time.
Yeah, you just keep going back. Honestly, more trips for you, more money. The whole motorcycle Uber, how was that not taking off?
We could call it a Uber.
Or we could do it like in India when they pile on 20 people on a motorcycle.
I actually have thought about it before. I was like, why is there no motorcycle Ubers?
Just Uber seat.
I think it's due to the physical contact and also distinct lack of protection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say.
Oh, and if it rains.
They're strapped his
helmet
helmet
size.
on.
Helmet
Strapped
size.
his helmet
Yeah,
on.
my head is
Yeah.
the size of the moon, right? Yeah, it's a little bit different size than the normal person. So I love these questions. They're really good because the one thing I'm just voyeuristically curious about is, so you're at home and you hear the smash. Did you think it was the show, or did you run out and you're like, fuck?
Well, oddly enough, I got a knock on my door, and my little neighbor lady who lives on the corner where it happened, she's like, your car got crashed. Excuse me?
And then what?
So then I went outside and saw that there was a little black car smashed up against my car, and there's a pickup truck that had the front all smashed, and I was like, son of a...
So the pickup truck ping-ponged the smaller car into your car.
Yeah, he ran a red light and hit this little car, and it spun and smashed into my car.
So the insurance company that paid, was it just the truck's insurance?
My insurance initially paid and basically just got money back from them when they got it all done.
Okay. So this is a term, subrogation is typically the term here, and it adds another layer of complexity. But basically what it means is your insurance company said, we'll take care of you and we'll go collect the money from the other person. So I got in a car accident, actually a Volkswagen, maybe it was you, no, hit me in the
Punch buggy.
back right, pit maneuvered me into an 18-wheeler, spun out, totaled my car. Fortunately, fine. No big deal.
You need a lawyer for that?
I don't. I was perfectly fine. Yes, no issue. The lady was uninsured. She had a kid in her car, 2-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Everyone was safe. My
Did
car
the
was
kid
the
have
only one.
insurance?
Kid did not have insurance.
That's a
yes.
shame.
I took his goldfish. But the point is that each person in the accident might have insurance. And if your insurance company is saying, hey, we're not going to go get any more from them, I think there's still a question to ask if there is more additional dollars. Because even if a lawyer is going to go and ask, submit that wage claim to them and push a little bit harder. We'll send you some resources about how to word those letters to make it, because you don't want to have to get a lawyer if you don't have to. So it's worth sending some additional communication that says, look, you need to cover these wages, you need to pay for this additional damage, this diminished value, here's the amounts that I think it should be, and then say you needed to go after both of those insurance companies in order to pay me back. And maybe they didn't go after both of them, they only went after the easy, low-hanging fruit. And so that might be another option to get them to pay some additional dollars.
Well, and that's your livelihood. The same way as if you drove a tanker through an office building and blew it up, you would lose money from that office, right? So that's your office. You should be awarded that. But as we all know, insurance companies are super helpful. And anytime you ask them, and they're
Angels.
very easy to get on the phone, and they very seldom say no, so that's not going to be. My daughter's orthodontist bill came in, $4,300. We submitted to insurance. They took off $18 of the $4,300, which I thought was very, very generous of them.
Wow.
So this is probably going to clear up
helpful.
easily. But I'm with Josh. I think it's just a matter of, they don't even read the first claim. You put a claim in and they go, no. They're taught, right? They say no 3 times, and then they go, all right, this guy's really persistent. Let's see what he's doing. And that's all because the guy at the top needs to make his $48 million annual bonus.
And that's a quarterly bonus.
It's quarterly bonus because otherwise, how would he afford a giant yacht? So, you're helping support some guy's yacht. So just feel good
not
about
just
that.
the yacht, the employees that clean the yacht. It's a trickle down economy.
It's
The Reaganomics.
It's all about trickle down economics.
We're not trying to get political on the show.
but
I do want to echo what JB said though. They are trained to say no, and then also there's a principle of the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yes.
So what
sucks.
you want to do is, I think you want to start with, can I get a lawyer that'll do this for me at the highest level because it's less stress for you. If you have difficulty finding a lawyer, you can reach out to us, right? The show's not just for the call. We want to help everybody that's in our community. But I think a second option too is you get, maybe the ChatGPT to write you a little demand letter, and then you put in your dates and your names and stuff, and you send them a demand letter because you know what? Out of 100 people, maybe only 5 get to a demand letter. And so you're becoming really annoying. You're coming to the top of the pile when you send something like that.
I mean, the statistics are actually very true. I mean, early in my career, I represented insurance companies on large catastrophic claims, and those usually are millions of dollars, so people are usually pretty up in arms about it. But even talking to some adjusters and executives, I mean, the reality is it plummets dramatically after the first and second denial or the first or second amount. And what I would urge you to do, and this is also for our callers, be very careful about what you're signing or filling out online, because those easy little click agreements they could say, well, you agreed that this is all you wanted to take, and we're released of liability, right? It may not be the case here, and even if it is, I still say send the letters. And here's why. Because they don't want to have to deal with some lawyer who's going to come after them for unconscionable Consumer Deceptive Trade Practices Acts over how their online agreements are signed.
How many of those words did you just get, Diamond?
Diamond, were you like, totally get that?
She got more than
Oh,
I did.
yeah,
I blanked
definitely.
out.
Do you understand unconscionable? Does unconscionable make sense? Do you understand that one?
Not really.
Unconscionable means terribly unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terribly unfair.
Yeah.
I do have one other
Snowballs.
solution that I think would work in
Let's
this
hear it.
case. What you should probably do is, if this were me, I would start a TikTok account, and I would, guys, follow along.
I'm here.
Hang
Serious.
on. Get a TikTok account.
I
Get
agree.
maybe 7 to 8 million followers. Probably take, I don't know, a couple months. Then you do a TikTok about this insurance company and name them very specifically and go, they're horrible, don't use them, and I'm not gonna. And they'll call you. That's how it typically. I would also do Instagram. I would flip the videos to horizontal for your YouTube account, maybe some Facebook pages. I'd definitely get a Twitch account, and I would go to the gaming community and make sure they understood how you're being wronged by horrible insurance companies. And then the more famous you get and the more you complain, the more swag and merch you're going to get from people. So that's
Thank
just
you.
a solution in general for everybody, I think.
I'm with
I
that.
think
Diamond?
Sounds great.
I think it might work. A lot
Yeah.
of people have done that, and it actually worked for them.
Yeah.
So.
You know, when you're at the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie level is where you can really get some solutions. And then at that point, you don't even need to hire a lawyer, but you can afford to hire hundreds of lawyers.
That's right.
You really have options at that point. So we recommend the TikTok media strategy.
I mean, I barely have any followers, and I blasted American Airlines one time, and they reached right out and took care of me. So I think that's a way to do it.
I'm crossing my fingers right now for the lottery tonight too. So
Definitely, and I would suggest that as option A for everyone on Earth. The lottery, and also don't waste your time when it's $1 or $2 or $3 million. That makes no sense at all. Wait until it's 500, 600, $1 billion. Because I don't know how you guys work, but $1 million, that's not going to change my life. But 500, million, I got some plans. I got a nuclear submarine I'm trying to get built, and I need a lot of cash. And I can show you the blueprints after the show if you'd like.
Me too. I have very expensive taste, so I need a lot of money.
She does.
I love that.
right?
And remember, if you're watching at home, don't forget to subscribe, because if Lancelot wins the lottery, he's committed to giving away 10% of that to one lucky subscriber. Don't quote me on that.
Is that right, Lancelot?
I made it up.
That is legally binding. I'm assuming that's a contract. He clicked the link on his website. I saw it.
1%. I'll agree to 1%.
Deal.
Deal. Please, I'll take it.
I would have done far less. I would have
Yes.
taken far less.
Terrible negotiating,
You,
Lancelot.
You need serious help in
Hey,
negotiating.
if I win $671 million, 1% ain't gonna really hurt me.
Hey, at least say after taxes, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
All right, Lancelot, do you feel like you got heard and talked to today?
I do. I really appreciate it.
Okay, please reach out to us if you have any other questions, okay?
All right.
All right, have a great day.
And Bill, we miss you on Louder with the Crowder. So,
All right. I appreciate it, man.
all right. Have a good day.
See you, buddy.
That was interesting, actually. I felt.
Yeah?
It is crazy because it's his insurance. I don't know why he was dealing with his insurance company at all. Typically, if somebody hits you, you go through their insurance company. I feel like.
I feel like it's a lot more direct oftentimes,
Yeah.
but I have heard of the circumstance where if depending on the type of coverage he had, they're required to cover it. But that's usually when you have like a comprehensive, and then that would usually include, well, he did have the rental car.
What did you call it when you go through the third party?
Subrogation.
Subrogation.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
subrogation.
I learned a word.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
So the big problem is that this is so common. You hit the nail on the head. Like the insurance companies are geared to saying, nope, here are all the reasons why we can't, and then they have to build that in, not only for bad reasons like profit motivated reasons, but also because there is a lot of fraud. So they're having to build all of it's a lot of kind of bad results that hit people like Lancelot when they're just minding their own business watching Godzilla, their car gets smashed.
What is the future of insurance? Because if you live in New Orleans, you can't get flood insurance. If
Right.
you live in the other side, you can't get flooding. You can't get
Fire insurance.
Fire
Yeah,
insurance
yeah,
in
yeah,
California.
yeah.
And now car insurance is going to go up. They said by like 500%
Yeah.
in California because of the theft and stuff. What is the? Because it's legalized gambling. Really, you're
Sure.
gambling against catastrophic loss.
Correct.
And yet that they say, oh, we can't afford it. And yet that dude is still walking away with a $200 million annual bonus.
Correct.
The system is so inherently broken. And you're right. Fraud is, they claim fraud's a huge part of it. But in reality,
It's a part, but
It's
it
a
is
part,
not the
for sure.
largest part
Yeah.
by any stretch. I mean, there's bloat, there's bureaucracy, there's a hope that insurance has long been one of the oldest, slowest types of businesses. They're finally moving up into the technology in certain aspects, but I think it's going to take a new one. It's going to motivate people to move to areas that are less risky. Right? Living in New Orleans is actually more risky.
you're below sea level.
Yes.
It's insanity
Yes.
what they're doing.
The Dutch and the Cajuns. Bad ideas all around. And see, at least the Dutch are riding bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can just float away, pull a ripcord, boom, life jacket. New Orleans, no idea. So it's going to motivate on that side, but it's also going to require that new companies come out with a different way to run it and a different type of profit model, one that can better track. Like, I'm not personally one of those guys that would attach a thing to my car, but if you need that additional savings and you can demonstrate that you're driving safely, that technology will enable the people who are truly less risk to pay less, and the people who are crazy to bear their burden, because right now it's spread out.
The real issue is that it's a data issue. It's not really an insurance issue. It's big data. So in the past, you didn't have the ability to segment people by age groups and zip codes and gender and race. And now we're seeing...
Why would we do it by race, Josh?
I wouldn't, but some people might.
Of course they do.
If I was going to do it by race, so let me tell you how I'd organize it.
The Italians.
The hierarchy.
No cost.
Italians would get it for free. No, but seriously, so you have this issue with healthcare as well. It's like, what do you do about people where we have data that they're going to bear extra cost? What do you do with the laws around that? These are big questions.
Our country with healthcare, I mean, other countries are doing it, and we can't. It's insane to me that the healthcare costs in this country.
Yeah.
That people are like, you know, if you have 2 kids, you're like, you can't raise them. It's nuts.
No, you sell one to care for the other.
That's I have
China
a listing,
policy.
and I'm selling mine to overseas later this month.
Dude, I'm telling you, Craigslist is not where you get the most value.
Yeah.
Just
No,
saying.
no, I did Facebook Marketplace,
good
and she's a redhead.
Great
So
idea.
honestly, small gene pool, very, you know, it's like an albino tiger. They're
Right.
They're really popular, and so she's gonna get a lot of money.
All right.
Excellent.
I have a question for so for like fraud, right?
Yeah.
It's I can't. You know what the worst is when there's a tragedy, and then people play on that for fraud. What if like a guy gets caught selling pot and he gets 25 years? A guy does fraud and he gets 2.5 years. What if we take these people who are committing just atrocious fraud against and destroying the system for the rest of us? What if we started really punishing them?
I think it would have look, people go where the incentives are, either positive or negative, right? Follow the money or follow the punishment. I had a personal example. The last car accident I get in, I hit a guy, sideswiped him going like 5 miles an hour in a parking lot. Hey, no big deal, buddy. Like, look, I'll pay for it. Send me the invoice. We don't have to do insurance, whatnot. He's like, okay. So I took a video of the car and all that, and I just hit 2 of his doors, right?
Yeah.
He sends me an invoice for front bumper, back bumper, side bumper, inside the car, the other side of the car. And I'm like, and it wasn't even that much more. It's like maybe $1,500 for the part I hit and maybe $5,000 total. But I was like, dude, I'm just going to pay for the $1,500. So he just goes to my insurance, and my insurance pays the whole thing.
If you have a crazy legal story and you want to talk to some lawyers anonymously for free, call us.
Wait, we're not getting paid?
Nothing at all. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, to be honest.